Episode number 346.
So this technique identifies how every organ, gland, and cell responds to your goal and gets rid of the fight-flight responses in every single part of you.
Welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff, where we talk about life, dreams, social media, and business.
Well, hello and welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff. Folks, you know your boy is always fired up, but on shows like this, shows where I think it's really going to change your mindset, I want you guys to think of the word abundance in your lives, and we're going to talk about it. But someone that is living that, helping people in the world, and transforming through that mindset of abundance is Mr. Tyler Watson. Tyler, are you ready to be real?
What's up, man? Heck yeah.
Let's go, brother. Just coming on to the website Abundance Masters and becoming unstoppable. That's something that's so hard that people have issues with in their life. But you've created a book as well. But I was looking at the website, just kind of checking you guys out this morning, and the word abundance is truly incredible because based on obviously your mission of helping people and helping individuals, find different ways to, if you want to call it, hack their lives or find ways to make their lives better, income, business, etc. But tell us a little bit about your journey, my man. How did you always love business? Did you always, love help and sell things to people, but also obviously run a business?
Yeah, no.
Really? Nice.
No. So I actually started out, it's an interesting story, but when I was like 12 years old, my parents ended up getting a divorce. And right around that time, I, being the oldest son, really didn't know how to communicate very well. And so I put on a mask and kind of hid behind the high achiever. And I went and got straight A's, class president, MVP, all these things, but underneath, I watched my mom go through 4 more divorces, my dad through another, and a huge part of me felt like it was my fault. Like I could have done something. I didn't know how to communicate that, so I turned to pornography addiction, video games, suicidal thoughts, depression, and never told anybody.
Even though you were having success, this is your other outlet.
Yep, it was just a facade. It was because I felt like I was supposed to do that thing, so I went and did it. And then when my mom was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" I'd be like, "I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm great."
Right.
And at night I'd cry myself to sleep, think about ways to kill myself, and then wake up with my smile back again, and for years. So I thought that was just how it was supposed to be until, fast forward a little bit, and I ended up going on a mission for my church for 2 years to Mexico.
Got you.
I was like, dude, this is it, like service. But I came back, fell back into the same patterns. And it felt like I couldn't change. And anything that I tried to attempt to get success in, it just felt like the whole weight of the world, it was like as if I was just destined to struggle and fail. And that was my lot. I was like, this just really sucks. So ended up actually meeting who is now my wife. But I started to get into a lot of personal development stuff, a lot of like Zig Ziglar and Bob Proctor and
legends,
Jim Rohn, like all the greats, right? And I heard some of their stories, which inspired me. And I was from Arkansas, and I thought, well, I have literally like nothing going for me, and I didn't really have too much further to go down. So I thought, well, I can only go up from here. so I was like, what have I got to lose?
And for any of us that are out there listening, I think that's a good mindset no matter where you're at.
It is. It is.
Because you forget you get too high in your britches no matter where you're at. But so at this point, you were just like, dude, no matter what I do, it's going to be better than where I'm at right now.
Yep.
So it's anything up from here.
Yep.
And so what'd you do?
So I started off as a massage therapist.
Gotcha.
My dad's a clinical kinesiologist. Stepmom's a naturopath. I was always fascinated by how the mind and body work and how you can just change people's lives physically.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And yet I saw all the mental stuff affecting people. So I wanted to not only help people physically, but also mentally, emotionally, financially. And so I started off as a massage therapist. I charged like $15 an hour.
Wow. Well, that's a good deal. That's a hell of a deal.
Had some money issues, some feeling of didn't value myself, felt like I had to overgive, overdeliver. And yet that burning part inside of me of, I know I can succeed faster. There's got to be a way. I've got to find that solution.
Right.
So ended up meeting my wife, who is now my wife, and she had taught youth for years on leadership skills. And I started to dive in on mindset, started to work on some tools of getting to root causes. And that year I made the leap and I was like, I'm done studying as a massage therapist. I was going to be a doctor of natural medicine. And I tuned in, spiritually was just led to become a coach and a speaker. Didn't really know what I was going to coach on, but I just felt like to really step in and become the person I was meant to be, that was the path I needed to take.
Love that.
So I did. Burned all my bridges, literally left the clinics, left the college, left everything.
Right.
That year I made $12,500. Woo!
Hey, that's a start to the journey, baby.
It was a start. I was recently married, so that was combined income. It was not ideal.
Right.
Yet I still focused. So no matter what, I just knew I can only go up. This is just as sucky as I could be, but I know I can improve.
Love that.
So with that, I invested a lot of coaches that I didn't have money for. I borrowed money from my brother-in-law, credit cards, and started to figure it out. And that next year, I hit my first 6 figures.
Oh, let's go, baby.
Yeah, so I went from 12,500 to about 135,000.
Bam. That's
in a
good.
year.
That's a 10x, baby.
Yeah, it was a 10x. And got
epic.
my wife her dream grand piano, wrote a book, started doing stuff for Les Brown, Ted McGrath, going all over, teaching stages and all sorts of fun stuff.
Hell yeah.
So that was my journey. And fast forward, now it's been 7 years.
Right.
2 years ago, that feeling inside of there's got to be a faster, more efficient way. And doing all the stuff I did was a lot of repetition, a lot of passion, a lot of getting to root causes, a lot of trying to confront stuff, but it was hard. And not very many people honestly have what it takes to do that.
Right.
So I thought, well, how can I find something that could get somebody the fastest result possible with the least amount of effort? Because I'm kind of lazy. So
most people are, obviously. Let's be real.
So I'm like, okay. I ended up developing a technique that I call now the abundance alignment technique.
Abundance alignment. I like this. Okay.
Yep. And it's a technique that you tap certain points, breathe, smile. It's really weird. But I started with gluten allergies and got helping people get rid of gluten and soy, lactose, food allergies.
Right.
And from there, I thought, well, the whole theory is that the only reason, now this is a whole different way to look at it, but the only reason someone is struggling in life is due to an allergy, meaning I'm pushing away something that I want, or an addiction, meaning I'm holding on to something that I don't want. And if I can change those, get into a state of alignment, then I can get my results. Instead of taking 40 years, I can do it in 6 months or less. So we started doing it on money. I did it on getting clients within that I hadn't marketed to, that people would reach out to me.
Right.
Within 24 hours, I made $8,000 just randomly. And I was like, this is cool. Does it work for other people? Is this just placebo or can it be duplicated?
Right.
So yeah, we started doing it. I had other people get similar results. Chiropractors doubling their income, tried all the logical stuff, but something was still not working. And after they aligned, I had a guy double his income in less than 30 days, had someone manifest 65K in a week, had someone hit their first 10,000 in a month. So all through aligning. Now, then I thought, well, if it works good with foods and money, what about relationships?
Gotcha.
So we started on that too. And sure enough, people who had been really stuck in their marriage or disconnection with their kids, total reconnection, being able to understand them instead of getting triggered. And I thought, wow, well, the ultimate test, what about with chronic, incurable diseases?
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, it's worth a shot. So I had a guy who had a cardiac arrest. His name's Craig. And for 5 years, his wife was a master energy healer, and they tried all the Western and Eastern medicines. Nothing was working. For 5 years, he could only function 4 hours a day. And if he walked and looked left or right, he'd fall over. So I thought, well, theoretically, if I'm right, The only reason you have those symptoms is because some part of you is addicted to them or allergic to what you want.
Right.
And if you align, it'll neutralize those fight flight responses and help you get it in a matter of minutes or days.
Wow.
So we aligned him, and he called back a week later in tears, and he said, "You're not going to believe this. I'm functioning over 8 hours a day. I can walk, I can look left and right, not fall over." And he's like, "I've literally gotten my life back." So
that's great.
That was when I knew I need to teach this. And that's what I do today.
That's amazing. So at scale, you're able to help people get alignment based on their different issues. It could be a variety of things, right?
Which is the problem in marketing this.
Yeah. Right. That's the hardest thing about any type of service, like any type of coach out there is some of the best niche down so far, but that they've obviously created tons of success, or maybe they've got a close circle of friends that have now become their clients, and now they got tons of buddies. So it's easy for someone that's like tapped into Jeff Bezos's circle of friends to all of a sudden become successful at some service or business by just serving your customers, your friends. But for a lot of us, that's the hardest part in a marketing message, is to try to define how can we serve the most people. And I think it's like, when your alignment's out of place, you need to get aligned in your car. And maybe that just kind of keeping that simple method of just like the alignment on your car, or like the alignment on certain things. Because you're right. I think that it does have a variety of factors that you can serve, because the mind's a powerful thing. It's so powerful. And then if you combine that with some of the I guess maybe some techniques that you're using that maybe involve some of the therapy and massage therapy kind of body techniques as well. So it's not just mindset, but it's actually like touching your body and your head or doing something like that. Yeah. Got you.
Yeah, that was the big shift for me, because a lot of the techniques were all mind, like conscious or subconscious, trying to get to belief systems.
Right.
Which works, but if you miss something, you still have the symptoms. So what I found after doing a bunch of studies on like people who had transplants, like organ transplants, I did a lot of research, and there are people who would have an organ transplant, and all of a sudden their nature would change. They would want certain things. They'd start to paint, and whoever donated it had those attributes.
I've heard that.
So I thought, well, it must be beyond the subconscious and conscious. It must be actually in every organ, gland, and cell. So this technique identifies how every organ, gland, and cell responds to your goal, and gets rid of the fight flight responses in every single part of you, which is why we have such incredible results. So it's a hybrid of a lot of things that I've just studied over the past several years and invested almost $500,000 in the past 8 years, like trying to figure out and struggle with.
Right. And learn and figure it. Which is hard, man. It's a difficult thing, and running a business is hard, guys. It's just real.
And having a family.
Having a family. 3 kiddos.
Yep.
Shout out to you, my brother, for being a papa entrepreneur at your fullest. And there's something to just helping people, man. So I love people that are willing to help people. We've had tons of different, obviously, guests on our show over the 9 years we've been doing it. But you can just feel that certain type of people like yourself really are inspired by the helping aspect of it. And obviously there's a monetary piece that comes with that. But that's really important. But who are the kind of people that you really love working with? Is there a certain type of?
So my niche is mainly entrepreneurs who like to be in a speaking, or they're influencing other people. And I do that because you could align to health stuff, but in my opinion, like true success is abundance in every area. And an entrepreneur, they're gutsy. Like we go out there and we're like risking it all. And I've seen so many entrepreneurs go out and do what's called the teeter-totter effect, where they'll go and they'll succeed in finances and they'll suck at their relationships or sacrifice their health.
Absolutely.
So a big part of what I teach is to honor that which is most sacred to you while thriving in every area of your life. And if you have to sacrifice one to gain in the other, that's not true success. That's not true alignment. Gotcha. So it's all about balance and thriving in a balanced way.
I love that. I was recently hearing something about just time, and that people that are rushing to get to places basically do not have the ability to have time on their hands, because they can't, they don't understand how valuable it is. And the people that have a lot of money, success, influence, etc., know how to protect that time so that they never rush anywhere. They got plenty of time to get to their spot, and they're going here and there, and they might do 15 interviews on the way to their next meeting. They might be, handling a lot of different projects, but they're never in a rush. And because everyone actually is gravitating around them too. So like when they come, if they're 15 minutes late, no one gives a shit. You know what I mean? It's kind of like one of those things where, and it's interesting. It's an interesting mindset when you think about your time and rushing, because as you know, you can just make the wrong turn on a highway because you're rushing somewhere and you're gone. You know what I mean? So because you thought you needed to get somewhere at a certain time in space, which you do, and because you weren't prepared, or because maybe you got a million things going on and you rushed, you made the wrong turn, etc. And that's a big piece to just understanding time, right? And I always find it fascinating.
Yeah, and I also think like being present in the time that you are in, because some people have time, maybe they're with their family, but they're not even there. They're like thinking about business, they're doing stuff.
100.
It's valuing the time, really honoring that time. And when you can do that, then you create that gravitational pull, and it just becomes so much more fun, and you don't feel rushed, you don't feel hurried, you don't feel overwhelmed.
Right. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Yeah, being very present. You only got this moment because we don't got the future moment, and we don't got the past second. We got this moment, But my man, we're about to take you into our top 10. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Apple or Android?
Apple.
Apple. Netflix or YouTube?
YouTube.
YouTube. Instagram or Facebook?
Facebook.
Facebook. Chicken or steak?
Chicken.
Chicken. Laptop or smartphone?
Smartphone.
Smartphone. Spotify or Pandora?
Pandora.
Pandora, the OG. Movies or video games?
Video games.
Love it. Do you have a favorite video game?
I do. VR. It's a virtual reality. Population 1.
Population 1. And tell us about that game, because I'm always interested in the VR games.
Dude, it's like, have you ever heard of Fortnite?
Oh, yeah.
It's like a virtual reality Fortnite.
Wow.
And you can climb up anything, fly off stuff. You're in a team. It's so fun.
So with that, do you have to have a little space around when you play and stuff like that? Or is it?
Yeah, you do have to have a little space.
Just to be careful. And does it also kind of work you out a little bit too? Because that's
does.
Better than just sitting in a sedentary environment.
Yeah, I love VR.
I love that. Favorite. I love that. We have the Kinect. I don't know if you remember the Xbox Kinect. They still got that old school thing.
Yeah,
but, it was the beginning of the, kind of moving with the game. It was, and now obviously it's just to a whole new level. So shout out to Population 1 and the video game makers that make that. Reading books or listening to books?
Listening.
Too much more efficient, right?
Way too. Yeah. Just put it on double speed.
Speed. Let's go, baby. Take the kids out for a walk and be educating the brain. Stocks or real estate if you're thinking about other investments outside of the business?
I'd say real estate just because my wife enjoys it. I don't, but I'll if she does it, then I enjoy it.
Yeah, it gives her something to do then as well then.
Yeah.
Awesome. And if you're thinking about taking the family on a vacation today, you guys are flying out, going somewhere, where would you go, an ocean or a lake?
Ocean.
Ocean. What ocean do you want to go to right now?
Probably just out to. We love going to Florida.
Heck yeah, love Florida.
It's nice.
Beautiful.
Plus Disney.
Disney, of course, dude. It's unbelievable. Orlando.
I've got a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 5-month-old. So
wow, heaven just became the light above. I
Yeah.
used to work for Disney, man. So I used to have the gold pass. You can go to any of the parks anytime you want to go, wherever you want to go, and all that. And so I definitely did hit up the parks out there. They are incredible.
That's awesome.
And obviously they've even got more rides now. So it's what a cool company, by the way. And when you're waking up for your day, my man Tyler, why do you love being you?
I love being me because I never accept defeat in any area of my life.
Ooh, nice. So when you feel defeated, which we all have those days, right? Like we all have those days as dads, as husbands, as entrepreneurs, as investors. How do you get through that defeat for your own life? And how do you, get to that next day?
It's a good question. I actually turn to the tools that I use. So I align.
Got you.
When you're in the defeated mode, though, it tends to be the thing you avoid the most because it's actually going to get you out of that. So sometimes I have to hire someone who I've taught to do it on me because I'm so avoiding it. I'm like,
Got you.
just take me through the process. I don't even want to do it myself. So
Yeah. So because you can avoid that.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. People are super good at avoiding anything that's going to get you what you want if you're allergic to it. So if your body's fighting the idea of what you want, you'll procrastinate, you'll put it off, you'll make excuses. Kids will get sick, like random stuff happens, stuff breaks down, all of it just to avoid the thing that you want. So when you're in a state of alignment, all that stuff stops happening and you can actually thrive. And when people start aligning, they look back and they're like, why didn't I do this sooner? Like it's way easier.
I love that. And I think it's because they're also buying in that they can get through that, right? Because like you're buying into these challenges and eliminating some of those limiting beliefs we have too in our lives that hold us back from those things we want. So I love that. Do you think you'll ever retire from the game of coaching, entrepreneurship, aligning, and business?
Retired? No. Like, I mean, I'll have plenty of funds and things that I don't need to work, but like, man, I think 2 years ago, I was just in this place where I was so frustrated. I was like, oh, I just want to quit. I just want to go flip burgers. And I thought, well, if I actually was flipping burgers, I would probably feel so obligated to help change everyone's life that it would not even matter. And I would have to just go back to what I was doing. Because once you get the level of knowledge of like how to change something and you see somebody going through it, you can't just keep your mouth shut. You got to like, oh, it feels so awkward when you're like seeing somebody sludging through the mud and you're like, yeah, you want to get out of that mud? Like, it's not so fun.
Like, here's a hand. Let's go, baby. Let's get out of this mud together. I like that. Get in the trenches with them. I think that's a real important part. And that's a part why we hire coaches is they're going to get in the trenches with you. And also a lot of times they've seen so much success and failure possibly, or just they tested these models or strategies on many people that they now know what's worked, especially like yourself. You had 7 years of tests. This is not 7 days of success. He's been here for 7 years. And so you see everything. And, just like even when we run a social media campaign and after being in business now around 12 years, we kind of know what's going to be, you kind of already understand versus the first day. We didn't know what the hell they want. Oh, you want a Facebook page managed? Okay, great. This is what it's going to take. We didn't know all the layers that was going to cover. And Facebook now you can do so many things. So that's the other beauty of entrepreneurship in life is that sometimes your services evolve or expand or things are brought to you that you never even thought you'd be doing that you maybe are doing, and I always give that optimism to our listeners because, they often say, why do you keep recording this podcast? And that's the reason why is because it's incredible. The types of guests I've had over the years, but also it's like my own mentorship. It's like my own course of mindset. And I can always go back and dive into them. But then most of the time I love it because, I get to experience the moment and then move on to the next guest, and it's a life of abundance. Like you said, it's a beautiful thing, my man. Do you have a routine as a pop entrepreneur and a dad to how you start your day?
I used to. I think my nature is more of random. Like I like change.
I like that. Okay.
So I have tried a lot of routines over the years, and for me, the best routine is like no routine.
Gotcha.
So changing it up, but I have some principles that I always make sure that are incorporated in my morning, but I don't ever like to feel like this is what I have to do.
Like a certain set time or set time you have to be up.
But working out's important, eating healthy, drinking water, doing like when I walk, I wake up, drink water. Every step I take, I'm like, thank you.
Nice.
Doing some gratitudes. I incorporate a lot of like mental and emotional processes in everything I do. So even when I'm like going to the bathroom, I'm like imagining anything that's not serving me, just let it out.
Yes.
Like simple stuff, but it makes a huge difference. And when I'm drinking water, I'm imagining it, just go through every single cell of my body and transforming it into whatever I want for the day.
Saying, thank you for that. Thank you for that water, baby.
So a lot of different things, making sure like spend time with my kids, focus on teaching, learning, spending time with my wife, coaching. We do all sorts of stuff, but I try not to get into any like, here's exactly what I need to do every day. And then I feel so trapped and I'm like, oh.
Absolutely. Yeah, because if you don't hit one of those tasks, you feel like, oh, shit, what's wrong? There's some entrepreneurs wake up at 4, hit 50 million things, do yoga, everything, kill it, bro. Like we're not there yet, baby, but I'm somewhere in the mix. I'm somewhere in the mix with you.
Hey, I feel like I want to wake up now, so I'll wake up and I'll spend some time with kids and we'll work out. And I like a chill life.
I like that. Well, it's important to go with what you like in this life, because it's like you only got one, and you listen to a million other people. You don't got to fill in their shoes. You know what I mean? Mark Wahlberg is doing different things than we are doing on a daily basis, and his body is how he makes money in some cases of in his businesses or on movies, etc. So the guy's pushing himself hella hard. But he's probably got days chill, and most likely you don't know his life. He's not going to tell you, that he had a shit day or whatever. That's just not what typically people do. And so that's the real important thing, is to go with what you like, man. Do you have a favorite app or a tool on your phone, or you just love using in your business or in life?
For me, I'm an Audible fan, man. I pound books.
Love that.
I used to hate studying. I had a very big allergy to it. College was like hell. Literally, I thought if there was a hell, it'd be me sitting at a desk. Literally, I was like so terrified and taking tests. That was like, so as I got out of that, I was like, I still need to educate myself. Right. I didn't like to read until I got into the power of applying everything I learned. So yeah, I go through a lot of books, and then I use Voxer a ton for
okay.
Communicating with my team and clients and helping in that realm. Those are two of my apps that I really love.
Your two faves. I like those. Those are two great tools, and Audible is incrediable. If you could chop it up to a lovely chicken dinner with anyone in the world, who you want to sit down with today and chop it up with?
That'd be I've never really thought of that. Most of the people that I've ever wanted to meet, I've actually met.
Well, bam! Let's go, baby. That's the beautiful thing about bringing that into your
I'm sure there's somebody if I thought about it, but it's like, maybe I would just go do it and figure out how to find them and meet with them.
I like that. What's your strategy to how you would meet? How would you meet someone? Because I think that's a big barrier for people.
Yeah. So first, I would do an alignment, because I'd probably have some sort of feeling or response that would push that away, not feel good enough, worthy, deserving. So I'd shift all that. Gotcha. And then I just put a plan together, reach out to who I know, and then start finding connections. And I'd think about it. I'd imagine it working, and I'd make sure that it's super real, that I feel that it's real. And if I know that every single part of me feels that it's real, it'll happen really quick.
I like that. And your boy is about to be one step closer to Gary Vaynerchuk, my dude, who's always inspired me, a guy that people have all different takes on, but I always love Gary V. Interviewing with Tyler tomorrow with his main man, Tyler. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm doing the same thing you're doing. And that's the thing, that the beautiful thing about life, guys and gals, is you can do exactly what my man put it out there, and you are deserving of their time. We're all humans. We all have value. And a lot of times, like you said, you got to get that alignment right to feel that you're at the same level.
And a shout out to Dane. He wrote Dream 100 book. It's
Dream 100.
Great book if you want to learn how to connect with high players. And it's like how to get out of the thicket. And because I started off as a massage therapist, I didn't think I had anything going for me. And here I am. I'm like connecting with people like Russell Brunson and different people all over the world. And I never thought that was possible. I was like from a town of less than 3,000 people. So I had those beliefs. I had them. But if I can do it, and I came from that kind of background, I know that, and I look like I'm 16 years old. So like,
got that babyface killer, baby, babyface killer. Let's go.
So I know if I have that, then anybody, if you have a desire and you align every single part of who you are with your being with what you want, then nothing can stop you. You literally become unstoppable.
Love that. It's just going to take a little bit of work, y'all. That's what it is. That's what life's about. It's the beautiful thing about life. I love everything you're doing, man. Thank you so much for sharing not only your wisdom. I always have notes, but you got a lot of different notes on you, my man. And can you give our listeners, where's your favorite place for people to learn more about the business, get more about interested in alignment, and so we can type them there in the show notes?
Yeah, great place is actually on my Facebook. I have a really great group.
Got you.
You can actually just Google it. It's Tyler FB for Facebook, tylerfb.com.
Got
So
you.
tylerfb.com, it'll take you to Abundance Alignment Technique group.
Got you.
And there's a ton of awesome free content you can go through, understand the power of frequencies, how to change it, tons of testimonials. It's an amazing group to be a part of. So
I love that. I like you using Facebook groups, man. It's a really great way of keeping people in a community and also providing tons of value and business. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. So shout out to Facebook. I always thought groups was going to take on, and I think I've seen so many different ways it's done well. And you're just another example. So it's Tyler FB at tylerfb.com. And we'll put that in the show notes. I like that too, that you're got your own page for the group. That's a really good technique as well. And also any places on social for you specifically outside of the group?
I do have a YouTube. I just started building that this year. So I'm trying to do it like twice a week, where I do videos on different processes and techniques, why they work, why they don't work, which one works better.
I love that.
So yeah, there's a lot of good content on there as well.
And how would they find you on the YouTube, just so we can put that in the show notes?
Oh man, I don't even know the URL, but
put it in there. We'll find it.
Tyler Watson is the whole YouTube page. So
just type in Tyler Watson on YouTube, or look in the show notes. We'll put it in there. We'll get it for you. I know we can find that for y'all. But dude, like I always say to all our guests, I always say the world is full of abundance, but you are a representation of that, my man. You literally took everything that you ever were, basically thought you could never achieve, and you flipped it on its head. And you are literally achieving it. And I think the world is going to continue to bring you abundance, my man, as long as you continue to serve like you're doing in your life, in your family, in your relationships. And please, y'all, get connected, my man, in the show notes. But dude, God bless you, my brother. God bless you for everything you're doing. Folks, you've been hanging out with Tyler Watson and Travis Too Tall and Huff. We want to thank you so much for your time today. And let's keep being real.
What another epic episode. And if you enjoyed the episode today, can you please do me a favor and subscribe to our podcast, The Be Real Show, on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform. And also take a little time today, if you don't mind, and give your boy T Huff a review. I would really super appreciate it. And thank you so much for listening today. We're all going through a lot right now. And Real-Time Outsource, my business, is giving back to local and small businesses. Through our social media services and campaigns, we are actually helping small businesses get more exposure during these times, and also when we get through these times. At the end of the day, we don't know how long this is all going to last, but most importantly, you got to think about your business right now and take it seriously. So come check us out at realtimeoutsource.com, and we would love for you to qualify and get the process started where we can take a look at your business and see if we can qualify you for some of our services at little to no cost for most of the businesses. And some businesses, you're going to have to pay, but that's just part of life, right? But most importantly is that I think this is the time, folks, that you can actually help thrive in your business. And so I would love to help you personally with our team. We're all going through a tough time right now. So take advantage of us. realtimeoutsource.com. Check us out. And we would love to do some business with you and help you with your social and digital media in 2020 and beyond.